Hey guys, hope you're all having a fantastic day wherever you are watching from. So, today's video is going to be short and sweet. I am canning chili, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take you guys along because I know that chili season is getting ready to come up, and it can't hurt to show you guys how I make mine. Now, there's many different ways that you can make this. Obviously, I customize it to what I have on hand. So, first and foremost, I'm just going ahead and getting my hamburger and my pot to be browning up. And then I am working on my onions. Now, you can use whatever kind of onions you want. I just dice these and then throw them in the pot. But remember, we are going to be pressure canning this recipe because of all the ingredients that it has in it. So you can customize this chili however you would like. If there's something that I put in mine that you would rather not have in yours, go for it, take it out. Just make sure you are processing your chili for the recommended amount of time for the ingredients that you are using. So again, I'm just going through getting all of my onions diced. Now I end up using two onions, but I cut the rest of the part out where I finished them up because I figured you guys probably didn't want to watch me chop onions for very long. So I end up adding those into the pot later. So then I am going to go ahead and add 2 cans of tomato sauce. These just needed used up. So I decided to add them in. I'm adding a jar of my own home canned tomato sauce and going ahead and combining that. Once it's combined, I add 2 cans of diced tomatoes, some pinto beans, 2 jars, some red beans, and some black beans. So I go ahead and add those, get them combined, and then I'm adding some mild tomato juice. Now, this is the juice left over from the salsa that I can, and I know it's a little bit odd to be adding this in chili, but it's a good way to use it up and it gives the chili such a good flavor. I tried it last time that I went to make this and I was like, I will definitely be adding this again because like I said, it's a good way to recycle the product, get it out of the jar, and get it made into something else. So I'm going to go ahead and add some garlic salt to all of this and some chili powder. Now, this is going to look like a lot, but keep in mind that this pan is really big. And you can flavor this again however you would like. Whatever else you would like to add to this, go right on ahead. But these are the two things that I am adding, and I would recommend not overdoing it with the chili powder. Now, I know it looks like a lot, but it's not as much as you would think because remember, the pressure canner is going to give us that smoky, like umami flavor that we're going for anyway, and it can really get intensified as it processes in the canner. So go light rather than heavy. And this is what it's looking like on my stove as it's cooked and thickened up for me. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and get this in my jars. So I have canned chili in pint jars and in quart jars, and on this particular day, I decided to do both. The quart jars work out really good for dinner, and then the pint jars work really good for just a single serving. So I'm gonna be filling up both types of jars here using regular mouth. Just make sure you're going back through and debubbling everything really, really good because your chili can be pretty thick. So take the time to do that. Get your lid and your band on, and then 1 jar is done. Now, we absolutely love having chili on hand, you guys. Chili is my husband's favorite thing in the entire world. Shortly after I can this, it's never enough. Eventually, I will get another pressure canner so I can do huge batches of chili because anytime I do it just in my canner that I have, it's anywhere from 9 to 7 jars, depending on if I'm using quarts or pints. So I got to get a second canner, and when I do, a big batch of chili is on our list to be canned together. But for now, I know my husband will be happy with what I am getting accomplished for him today. So again, I'm just going through filling up all of these jars and it worked out really good. So I got 3 quarts and 4 pints filled up, which was exactly what I had pulled out. So just getting all of these filled and getting them put up in my canner. Now, don't forget, you guys can use this as like a soup, but you can also use it on like hot dogs or whatever else you would normally use chili on. It's really versatile. It comes in handy to have it for other recipes. And we use it on all kinds of different things. So it's very, very nice to have during the fall months. Whenever you're looking for something easy, you just pull one of these jars right off the shelf and there you have a meal. So I got that one loaded in the canner and got the lid on. Now we are going to flip this to a high, let our canner steam for 10 minutes, and it is done that. So I'm adding the jiggler weight. The next thing that we need to do is wait for that weight to jiggle. So once it starts to jiggle, I'm going to find a good medium on my stove. And then I'm going to set the timer for an hour and a half. Remember, since we're canning quarts, you go with that time. So quarts is 90 minutes, which is an hour and a half. So that's what I am doing here. And now we wait. Okay, guys, so here is everything coming out of the canner, and I may have misspoke. I ended up with 4 quarts and 4 pints exactly, so that's great. And I did have a little bit of siphoning in my canner as I was taking these out, so I will show you what I'm going to do with the jars since they were covered in a little bit of gunk. But I'm just taking them all out of the canner. They're all still piping hot. Now, I am not going to touch these for an entire 24 hours, and I will show you how I get them prepped and ready for storage as soon as these sit on my counter for the full 24-hour period. Okay, so it is officially the next day. All of my jars sealed, which is awesome. But if you are new to canning, siphoning basically just means, in simpler terms, that some of the chili in these jars leaked into the water. Now, this can happen either whenever you're pressure canning or water bath canning, and it's very common. It's not unusual. So don't freak out if you open your canner and see some of that in your water. But a way that I like to combat that is just anytime that that happens, I make sure to go the extra mile and really, really scrub these jars. Get under the rim, get the top cleaned off, get them all rinsed off really good with soap and water, and that will prevent any sort of particles from being on the jar long term or mold developing on your jars whenever you go to put them up for storage. So you may notice my husband already got into these, so one jar is already down. I was not kidding when I said he loved chili, but that's okay. They're getting eaten, and that's all I care about. So then after that, I'm just going through and drying these off really good. I'm going to get a label put on them, and these are all done. So this was a really fun project to do. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I truthfully and honestly appreciate it so much. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you guys in the next video.